Hi, my name is Kevin Taylor. My fellow Ghanaians, why are we blaming Dr. Mahmoud BAWUMIA for the sins of the Akyem Mafia? This is with all due respect. With all due respect, my fellow Ghanaians, I've said this over and over again. Let's not lose focus. Let's focus, and when we focus, we'll get to the last cent. Now, we have to understand that the strengthening of the cedi and our general economic recovery depends on the whims and caprices of the executive and the political actors. Ghanaians have described the formation of the FX committee as a confirmation of claims that Akufo-Addo's economic management team, headed by Dr. Mahmoud BAWUMIA, has failed and failed shamefully. It is also clear that the economy has been on a tailspin since the inception of this administration, since 2017. From all indices, not cooked ones, things have gone bad to worse. A lot of companies, both foreign and local, have shut their operations in Ghana within the past 3 years and laid off thousands of Ghanaians, citing lack of enabling environment. We don't need special magicians to help us fix the dying economy. We need to prove an enabling environment for indigenous businesses to thrive and to boost foreign direct investment in Ghana. Now, my fellow Ghanaians, entrepreneurship is the key to global prosperity. The government economic team must come out with policies to boost and incentivize our private sector and our small and medium-scale businesses. Government must stop faking economic data. This MPP government must stop faking economic data. Bad data obscures the real picture of the health of the economy and could mislead policymakers and investors, sometimes to disastrous effects, and this is the situation we find ourselves in. My fellow Ghanaians, doubts over the quality of Ghana's economic data have risen in recent years, especially after large-scale manipulation of the economic data was exposed by some experts in the field. Honorable Adongo of the NDC has been one person we can't ignore. The World Bank, the IMF, Bloomberg News, and some international media outlets have talked about how this government is manipulating figures. Now, my fellow Ghanaians, I feel we are blaming the wrong person here when it comes to the abysmal performance of the cedi, and that person is Alhaji Mahmoud BAWUMIA, the Vice President of Ghana. With all due respect, my fellow Ghanaians, the scary truth is that Ghana's economy is in crisis. Ghana's economy today is in crisis. The cedi is still struggling. Ghanaians recognize that the missteps and actions of this NPP administration and its economic management team are largely responsible for the current economic crisis. But soon, they will stop looking backwards and start asking hard questions. Yes, harder questions of the Akufo-Addo government. Yes, BAWUMIA has become the target and receiving all the deadly punches because of its utterances in the past. But the truth is, the economy, as we have now, is Akufo-Addo and his Akyem Mafia's economy. It is unfortunate that BAWUMIA has allowed himself to be used by these criminals and now going through this painful execution. The soul of the economy has been taken away by the Akyem Mafia, and they are the real managers and gangsters of the economy. We are where we are now because of their behind-the-scenes instructions and manipulations. Establishing an FX committee only confirms that the president has lost confidence in BAWUMIA and his team. This Akufo-Addo and family administration is telling Ghanaians per this decision that the performance of the economic management team led by the Vice President, Dr. Mahmoud BAWUMIA, has been underwhelming. Does it mean BAWUMIA and his team lack the intellectual might to chart the course for our economic prosperity as a nation? My fellow Ghanaians, that is the impression the President, Akufo-Addo, and his Akyem Mafias have created and are pushing harder to render the man who handled all their economic issues in a position to look foolish and ordinary to Ghanaians. Dr. BAWUMIA has gone through a lot and still enduring same. His office has been rendered useless. Gabby Otchere Darko is more powerful than the Vice President and respected by government appointees than the Vice President. All the sensitive sectors of the economy are being controlled by members of the Akyem Mafia. All government contracts, procurement, etc. are being handled and executed by the Akyem Mafias. They take all sensitive economic decisions without consulting or involving the man who is charged to head our economic management team. The Akyem Mafias, led by Ofori-Atta, has created a climate of fear and toxic environment that has stifled business activities and growth. President Akufo-Addo, Ken Ofori-Atta, and their Akyem Mafias seem to view everyone and everything through a tainted prism of suspicion and mistrust. Every policy of the previous administration and every advice offered them are presumed to be of bad intent. I remember when Honorable Adongo told the managers of the economy that Ghana's economy was heading for doom because of the inappropriate and high government expenditure. He argued that in 2018, government generated only 35 billion from taxes, of which was allocated to the funding of compensation and interest costs, which virtually left nothing for the government to use to undertake developmental projects. My fellow Ghanaians, I want you guys to focus and stay with me. The IMF recently warned that Ghana's risk of debt distress classification still remains high. Seth Terkper, yes, in his write-ups disclosed the use of offset instead of explicit payment of annual arrears to reduce the budget deficit or fiscal balance on paper. This means the government of the day, this MPP government, leaves out some amount of arrears it owes from its books without actual payment, hence reducing the deficit only nominally. We shall delve deep into these unethical economic activities of this administration. Do we blame BAWUMIA for these dangerous and dubious activities by the economic managers? Every central bank strives to maintain its country's currency value below inflation and above deflation. The Central Bank of Ghana has failed since it has been unable to act fast enough to curb the cedi depreciation period. The central bank has employed both the tight fiscal and expansionary policies that have both failed. You don't blame BAWUMIA for Ken's abysmal performance, which has led to the situation we find ourselves in today. The president Akufo-Addo, continuously heaped praises on his cousin, the finance minister, in spite of the mess his dubious activities has caused this economy. The president, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, and his Akyem Mafias have embarked on what they call Disgrace BAWUMIA project to enable them wipe off the Wale Adam Smith from the political space for the Akyems to take full control. These are sacred truths, my fellow Ghanaians, and I know only the brave, honest, intelligent will understand what I'm speaking about today. This administration, led by Akufo-Addo, which I call a criminal enterprise, want to do everything to disgrace BAWUMIA so that they would take this great NPP party from the Ashantis and the Northerners. I'm going to repeat this again. The president and his Akyem clique are doing everything possible to make sure that they take this great NPP party from the Ashantis and Northerners. I have heard some of my NPP friends say I am very critical of this administration because of my loyalty to ex-President Kufuor. What I would say is they are not far from right, which also means most of my own NPP sympathizers have come to realize that the real NPP are the Edubuahins and Kufuor loyalists. Per what I am seeing, my fellow Ghanaians, per what I am seeing and performance of this government, I will forever remain a staunch apostle of President Kufuor as they claim. We are all witnesses to Banredu's performance. We saw the improvement he brought into the economy and how wisely he brought all on board, including known opposition experts and entrepreneurs. Ask Ken Ofori-Atta how he acquired the Gehok Pharmaceuticals and its land stretching from Dome to railways. Why are they denying others from operating freely under this administration? Yes, I have my disagreement with Ken Dapa, but look at the way known opposition bigwigs supported him on his video. He enjoyed that support because of how he has carried himself all these years. This is a Kufuor-trained politician. My heart bleeds for BAWUMIA. My fellow Ghanaians, today, my heart bleeds for BAWUMIA at this point. The Akyem Mafias have successfully caged the Wale Adam Smith and rendered him ineffectively useless and thrown to the vultures to devour. Finally, with all due respect, it is an open fact that the pro-Kufuor group or the Ashanti group have no say in this administration's deliberations. And that is a fact. And to those who, out of fear and self-interest, have refused to express their disappointment in this administration, led by Akufo-Addo, this was what President Kufuor said recently about the overthrow of Buzia's government. And I quote, he said, "This time the overthrow will not be through a coup, but ballot box." That is what President Kufuor said. My fellow Ghanaians, the time has come for us to speak truth to power and speak truth to criminals who we have given power to destroy us. I have said, until you understand inflation, you can never form a committee to investigate inflation. This committee was set up for two reasons. One, to embarrass the Vice President Alhaji Mahmoud BAWUMIA so that they can get rid of him because he is a hindrance to the Akyem Mafia. And secondly, to depoliticize the government's abysmal performance That's why they have added people like Franklin Kujo and other independent-minded individuals. My fellow Ghanaians, this should tell us this government has failed. This NPP government has failed. The forming of this committee should tell you and I that we have ignorant talking braggarts who can't help this nation. And the faster we make up our minds to let them know, the better for us as a people. I have always said, I'm just a messenger without a Bible or a Quran in his hand. A messenger who is ready and willing to speak truth to power, irrespective of who is in power. My question is, why blame BAWUMIA for the sins of Ken Ofori-Atta and the Akyem Mafia? Why blame a man who was ready to serve his people? Why blame a man who has been neglected? And why blame a man who is always seen as the target? My fellow Ghanaians, it is about time we started thinking as humans. It's about time we started separating facts from noise. It is about time we realize that this Akyem Mafia is a criminal enterprise. They will go every length to take power from we the people. But I always say that when the people are ready to take power from you, you can swallow God. You will still take power from you. Tuesday, join me on Loud Silence Radio and TV for us to delve deep into this issue. I've always said that here we separate facts from noise. My name is Kevin Ekobedu Taylor, and this is With All Due Respect.